the law school admissions is much more numbers driven than undergrad admissions is, primarily LSAT, GPA, and then there's everything else. And they'll say it's holistic, but I just don't believe them. They're so focused on the rankings, and we've seen bad actors on the admissions side play games to boost the perception in the rankings, to even fabricate employment numbers entirely. There have been a few cases of that over the years. So I see it, a lot of it, as coming from that rankings focus. And I guess my question is, how do we stop focusing on the rankings? It's like kind of this thing where people look at the rankings because everybody else looks at the rankings too. So if we could all just agree, put the rankings aside, nobody's ever looking at US News for anything else anyway. So why do we trust Bob Morse to tell us what to think?
Right. No, I think it really starts with the ABA, because we've seen this huge test optional movement come through the college side, and it has to because of COVID. But because of ABA accreditation, we haven't seen that kind of similar trend happen on the law school side. And I do think to some degree, the rankings do play in and contribute to, probably some sort of, I don't want to say corporate mindset, but a little bit, it's gatekeeping. And I think they do like gatekeeping to an extent. And I think if it started from the top, if the ABA said, okay, we don't want to be a gatekeeping institution, we want to increase diversity, we want to increase the type of lawyers, because representation is so important. You need to have lawyers that look like your clients. And I think if that was more of a focus on the ABA side, then they would start looking at things like, do we need to require tests? Can law schools go test optional? What are the rankings and what are we using? I know that they don't control the rankings, but they do have a lot of power in the narrative.
They do. And the rankings, they weight things in a very strange, secretive way. And there are things like the size, money spent per student, the size of the library, as if these things really matter. You can increase expenditures by charging more money and then spending more money. Library size doesn't matter. Employment does matter in my view, and bar passage does matter in my view. Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them. And feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.